Thank you, Michael. And then I acknowledge Kelly Langmaid from the NBL, who's arrived today as the Head of First Nations for the NBL and Inclusion Manager. Welcome. First time to Cairns. Obviously, the people behind us, Dave Stevenson, CEO of the NBL, and Curtis Pitt, Speaker and friend of basketball. It'd be remiss if I didn't open up by congratulating the Australian Opals on their win last night against Canada, and in particular call out Kayla George, who frequents these courts in her off-season, uses these facilities for her own development. But importantly, I thought she had a magnificent impact on the game last night. So wanted to call that out up front and congratulate the Opals in their win. And then to the business of today, it's an exciting moment for the club as we make this announcement. It was only 12 months ago that we stood here with Michael again with his support through Office of Sport and Rec and Tourism, and we were announcing a tourism story where the Taipans announced we were going to play NBA games at Washington and Toronto, so really drawing a spotlight for the city. That was a fantastic announcement. So we again thank Michael for his support of that initiative, but again the support of Queensland Government to get this to this point, work closely with Dave's staff, Tristan Russell, in putting this program together with our office, Jasmine Amos in her work. But really, as a professional men's team, we would love to complete the ecosystem for the sport, and we see that the announcement of our Girls Academy is the first step toward that. We understand that Cairns basketball is a key stakeholder to this, and there's been a lot of work that's been done on facilities growth and expansion, and we'll continue to have those conversations with all levels of government, including Mayor Amy Eden's announcement of Council's desire to have Cairns as a spotlight for women's sport. So we see that basketball is a great fit for that. The program itself becomes the first step in engaging young women, and no coincidence that Jazz in our office has been spearheading that for the club. We've got Steph Shirley in her third year of her PhD graduate with CQU from a high performance perspective that will integrate into the program. Jodie Maguire, our sports psychologist. So all the women that are attached to our program that are going to continue to drive this for us is super exciting. We've also got representation from NBL 1, our Taipans players, high school, Cairns High principal, so Chris Zilm, so a lot of stakeholders here, and I think that that's a testament of what this program means, certainly for the club, but importantly the community, and we're excited about rolling it out in the coming weeks.
Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land with which we're on, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Also thank you for incredible support for Michael and Curtis. Initiatives like these are so important for the NBL, and under the great leadership of Mark and the Cairns Taipans, we are thrilled to be able to see this initiative come to life. The NBL is booming. You've seen some record sellouts. 40 games sold out last year, record crowds. But what isn't as widely known is the focus that we have on women's basketball. So whether it be through NBL 1, there's 76 NBL 1 teams who play across that competition across the country. The numbers are phenomenal, and then you may have seen the announcement for us to be able to pick up the WNBL and work closely with Robin Denholm and the team, and we feel like, to use Mark's terms, that it completes the ecosystem. But a really important part of what we believe is you can't be what you can't see, and so these academies are really critical to be able to help not only find that future star, and we talked about Kayla George, but also provide a great pathway that the academy can lead to NBL 1, can lead to WNBL, and obviously the success of what the Cairns Taipans have had for many years just shows that the incredible strength of basketball here in Cairns and far north Queensland. So we're proud to partner with the Cairns Taipans and really thank the Queensland Government for their support, and we can't wait to get it started.
Thanks very much. Firstly, also acknowledging that we are on the land of Aboriginal people and pay my respects to elders past and present. This is a really exciting day. This is an exciting day because as a father of two girls who unfortunately are vertically challenged just like me, if they dream big enough, they actually could go somewhere through the pathways that will be on offer from the Taipans Girls Academy. I really thank the NBL for partnering so closely with it and having such an interest in women's sport. You'll hear from the Sports Minister in a moment, but I cast my mind back to when I was a Sports Minister many years ago, and what was always very important was increasing that female participation. So women and girls sport has always had to fight harder. And what we're now seeing is that parity has started to be there, not just in a sport like basketball, but across the board in rugby league and AFL and other codes. The other big thing I love about this program and what it can do is that a lot of women and girls drop out of sport for a number of different reasons, and particularly young girls who are coming into that time in their life where everything's up in the air, everything's changing, they're noticing new things. But a big part of that has always been a lot of young girls drop out because they have self-esteem issues or body image issues, and making sure that it's seen to be something that they can get involved in and also know what those pathways look like, mean that it's a very great opportunity for us to see that increased participation and making sure that they continue in the sport, which no doubt they're already in love with. So this is a fantastic day. I do want to congratulate Mark Beecroft and Jasmine for the work that they have been doing, very much putting top of mind women in sport. And when you see some of the products we've had locally, it's very exciting because we know that the talent is here. Now with this academy, we're going to be able to see that really full throttle and go through to the next level. Thank you to Sports Minister Michael Healy as the member for Cairns as well, but particularly in that portfolio responsibility. It is an important thing. Sport is something that unites us in so many different ways, and one of the best ways we can do some of the things we do is through sport. The last thing I will say is go the Boomers. We're going to beat Greece.
Good morning, everybody, and I would also, where Mark started, want to acknowledge the fantastic work that is being done at the Olympics by not only all Australians, but we have over 148 Queenslanders who have been associated with the Queensland Academy of Sport. We as a government have invested in each and every one of them, and I can say our women continue to perform extremely well. And it's a fantastic time. The Olympics, it's an opportunity to remind everybody of how important sport is and what pathways they are. And today's announcement is a spectacular announcement. For generations, young women have not been able to extend their sporting careers due to restrictions for a variety of reasons. We are breaking those moulds, and as a government we are investing more into women's infrastructure, change rooms and a wide range of initiatives. It was only last night I met with over 50 clubs and sporting representatives in Cairns to talk about how we can grow our infrastructure. This is about providing pathways and it's about providing career opportunities, but it also improves quality of life. And as Curtis has touched on, and as both David and Mark know, and a lot of people behind the cameras know, sport is so fundamentally important to the development of young men and young women. And today, to use Mark and David's term, it completes the ecosystem. To have a women's academy is absolutely fundamental, and it continues to extend the opportunities for so many in our community here in Cairns and in our region. I want to acknowledge the NBL for their fantastic work in this space. I want to acknowledge our only national team here in Cairns, and that is why I continue with the support of Curtis and others to ensure that our region and our city will get the best and we will continue to grow. This is a really positive announcement, not just for the Taipans, not just for women's sport. It's a positive announcement for our community as we continue to grow, to expand, but more importantly, invest in our youth, because at the end of the day, they are our future and they will continue to receive the strong support of the Miles government.
Yeah, the first part is we've done a blanket expression of interest through high school. So we're targeting high school women, and Jazz has done a body of work in firstly canvassing. The next part for us is staffing, and we're also been in the process of working through what that looks like. So employment of women to the academy is a critical piece, and from there it's really the delivery through high schools, and we're targeting hopefully 600 high school girls through a variety of high schools that the program will run out through. Will include high performance testing, psychology, and then we aim to bring it into a combine day that will be the pinnacle of the end of program.
We've got Brisbane 2032 coming up in just 8 years' time. Is this getting ready, getting some of these youth ready, for what could be in 8 years' time?
Absolutely, and hopefully we can build some courts in the middle of all that. And
I got that.
Yeah, did we get that through? That really identify the future Opals out of this program, and both Taipans and Cairns basketball play a role in the development of the growth of the sport, and we see that obviously this is a part of it. And if we can find the next Kayla, of also like Curtis got daughters and one daughter. Don't tell Jalen I said that. A daughter and a bunch of young women that I had the fortune of coaching back in the day when I didn't have grey hair, but that was another time. But the aim is to develop future Opals.
Any other questions?
Just with Kayla, will you look at her as a sort of blueprint to develop talent in the academy?
You would have to say yes, given that she's got connections here. Her family are Cairns based. She's got a younger sister that plays in our representative programs and NBL 1. I think her influence over young women when she's around, you just have to be there to see that. It's certainly a connection. We don't want to claim her and say, yeah, we did all that. She's done the work, and she's done that through a body of platforms and coaches and people that have assisted her, but really it's been Kayla that's driven that. I thought she just had a tremendous game and really big influence last night, and a lot of people, a lot of clubs and a lot of coaches that have assisted her directly will be saying, that's a credit to her, and absolute blueprint.
I guess you mentioned a lot about the skills that the girls will be able to develop as part of the academy, but getting that next career pathway moving, is that something that the academy will support and help them to get to, whether that be WNBL or whatever that may be? Yeah,
I think that for us it provides the advocacy on what we need to do next. The feasibilities are set around growth, and not to harp on it, but it is around the growth of and expansion of facilities. And I think the academy forms the first part for our women's program, particularly with the support of the NBL, the support of the government. This says that hopefully we can make a strong case on what it looks like moving forward to put more women in sport through basketball.
Could we one day see a Cairns WNBL team?
That's the goal, and again we go back to it. We'll continue to do the work on the ground. The feasibility work has been done. Growth and expansion of facilities, but we also need to be able to tell the story when we get to that point to ministers like Michael and advocacies like Curtis and Dave to be able to say, what work have you done on the ground? And we're delivering this program as the first part to advocate for that.
That's a really good question. I think, importantly, we know that there are so many aspects to being successful in sport. Hard work is the most fundamental, and of course, you also need to be being given the opportunities and pathways. However, a big part of it is mindset, and how sports psychology plays into on the court. It equally plays into off the court as well. So I think young women particularly have a lot on their plate, and I think it's important to ensure that we understand what their needs are to make that process as smooth as possible, but making sure that they've got that support for their emotional well-being as well.
I know Michael mentioned before in a couple of press conferences ago that participation is growing in sport, particularly whether it be in netball or basketball. From your perspective, how great is it to see that participation is growing despite some of these challenges that young girls may be facing? Yeah,
it's a real credit. I would say, look, as I said, I was a former sports minister. Michael's a sports minister now. I will say that the Department of Sport and Recreation in Queensland has done terrific work over many, many years, and particularly here in Far North Queensland. So I think a lot of credit must go to that longevity of the programs, like Join the Movement, which I launched. managed, and that's continued to help grow participation. Where I'm from, in Gordonvale, I'm in the southern corridor of Cairns, obviously our population's growing there too. So that's going to be an important thing to ensure that this isn't simply a Cairns-based initiative, that is something that goes across the entire footprint of Far North Queensland.